Twitter, TikTok, wherever you're watching. What's up for Loco? What's up, Rotes? What's up, Danksy? How's everyone doing?
How you doing? Let me add
Great.
Walter real quick.
Very
Right on.
good.
Oh, for Loco's not it? Okay. Anyways,
He's good.
hope everybody's
Yeah,
having a
man.
great day. I'm about to post it in the channel right now, so we'll have people pulling in. But another crazy week in crypto. Lots of exciting stuff happening this week that we'll talk about in all these different sectors. If you guys, your first time tuning in, welcome. My name is Bren. We've been doing these streams for about 6 or 7 months now. It's been super exciting. Lots of stuff, especially the past few months going on. We give our takes and talk about pretty much everything that's gone on in crypto and Web3 during this week, and that's AI and meme coins, majors, NFTs, and a lot of the news going on this week. So if you're new here, welcome. We usually, the way we start the show is go over a little of a review for the past few days. Usually we call it the Rotes review with our boy Rotes here. So Rotes, you want to go ahead and pull that up if you're not already?
Yeah.
Screen.
I just had this existential crisis here, realizing that, when I spend 17 years in the same company, that technically kind of makes me old. So there's that. I swear I'm not that old. It's just the math works out that way, But taking a look at Bitcoin macro, Bitcoin is in this like state of chop. Overreacted on the weekend due to the announcement or the release or the discovery of China's DeepSeek over the weekend. And because crypto is the only market that is actively trading, it tends to react the most. Bitcoin crashed. Then we led into the main markets. They crashed over on Monday, and the rest of crypto crashed. And the higher risk kind of betas react the most and see the most downside on it. But China's DeepSeek is really the big news that's kind of the umbrella over the market at the moment. There's a lot of ways to think of it, a lot of ways that both positive and negative across the board. It's really took a hammer down on NVIDIA, probably a bit of an overreaction. The more AI gets adopted, NVIDIA chips are still going to be a necessary element, no matter how efficient we make these AI models. I assume we're always going to want more compute. And then on the other side of it is that the Magnificent Seven, their big plays in AI. Does it impact them? I don't know, but it definitely opens up the accessibility of AI in general when it's an open source model. And that, I think, is the key element. I think it's the element that could drive a lot of interesting developments when it comes to AI and crypto. And to me, I think it becomes more of an opportunity side of things if you can identify the right operators, the right teams that are developing and building new and innovating elements on there. So I want to pause there because that's such a big element of news that I think it's worth exploring a little bit more before we kind of go through the rest of news and updates.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get to that, we are looking at the chat. This stream we like to make super interactive. So definitely make sure to leave your comments, questions, anything you want us to see, as long as it's not fucking crazy. We will go over that as well as chart requests. What we're going to do now is this Rotes review. Like we're saying, we're going to dive a little bit into this AI stuff. We're going to move on to the majors and then meme coins and then some NFT stuff. So if you're here for the memes and the NFTs mostly, we will get to all of that. But yes, let's go ahead and dive in real quickly. I want to get to the chat. Crypto says, "What's up, Crypto Envy? What's up, H? Hi, Jack." He says, "Hype for the stream. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for being here." Crypto Envy says, "I hope this sparks AI competition." Yeah, we're gonna look. That's a good segue. I know For Loco made a post today about the Chinese one that came out as well. I think my kind of little take on it. Again, I'm not a super, tech person anyway. Not super crazy on AI, but it seems like it's pretty much just these two coming out. It's just it getting more decentralized. But yeah, For Loco, I want to hear what you kind of have to say because you made a few posts about it.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know much about it, but it is just similar. I think even more efficient than DeepSeek. And again, I think we all know that
You're talking about the
technically this is going
Chinese
to
one,
be
right? For those who don't.
correct. Yeah, there's two. I think it's called Quen, I want to say I don't want to butcher the name, but it's just it seems to be even more efficient than DeepSeek. Regardless, I think we all kind of like understood that this is not technically a threat to um, chips, GPU chips, to be actually a positive. But you know how everything reacts on the timeline when there's a new competitor outside of the US, everyone panics. So far, what we know is that we are seeing companies utilizing these open source models that you're able to create incredible amounts of kind of like inference without the pretty much like 90% cheaper. We don't really know if those are accurate estimates of what it really costs to develop that platform. But what we really know is there's a bunch of things coming out outside of like what we know to be the leaders, whether it's OpenAI, NVIDIA, etc., even like Claude and Perplexity and these guys. And now we are really trying to see that the war for AI is not just a one and done. It
Yeah,
might keep kind of like evolving, and at some point all the leaders that we are kind of like buying into perhaps need to be revisited in terms of valuations, right? So I'm not saying that Nvidia won't go higher. I think it will, but it's always good to go back and understand,
yeah.
that the most of these assets are really based on future,
For sure,
you
for
know,
sure. I think it
pretty
just
much
again
future
all points to
application.
just more decentralization. Does that mean Nvidia is overvalued from here? Maybe not. I think maybe it just means the whole space is just going to get crazier, which could sustain like Nvidia. Maybe it just other stuff kind of gains ground on it or something. I don't want to spend too much time just on DeepSeek, but have you guys any of you used it yet?
Yeah,
I
I
did use it, and then for some reason, I mean, they banned the app on the US, right? So it's not just for Chinese users. But I did try it, and it was actually pretty cool. I
Right
tried on
on.
Sunday. Have you
Yeah,
guys
I
tried
saw
it?
some guy training like this Trump thing to it, and he said it's like a lot faster than ChatGPT and stuff. So,
I think
uh,
it's much better than ChatGPT. I just canceled my ChatGPT subscription
how
and
much
just
were you
use
paying for that?
like $20 a month,
Interesting.
but
Is
it's
DeepSeek
free.
charging
It's
now,
free.
or
What?
is DeepSeek already charging?
No, it's free.
No,
No,
it's
I
it's
free.
mean,
free.
if you're using the API and like you're an actual dev, like you still have to pay for tokens.
Yeah.
But if you're just on the website or using the app, it's free, and
Right on.
it's
Right
pretty
on.
good because it explains the reasoning of the LLM.
Right on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
reasoning part of it is really cool.
yeah, Rhodes, real quickly, I want to hear since you put it on here. What are your thoughts on the whole thing, and before we move on to whatever else?
Yeah, I mean, I think the developments in AI and like, I mean, we made this comment on crypto AI agents that they're just using they're just chatbots, right? They're just using a wrapper and they're not really doing anything innovative, et cetera, et cetera. I think DeepSeek and these new models have the ability to enable more innovation when it comes to AI agents. And that is what I think is really exciting
Yeah,
for the involvement in this space. Is it scary and existential and a little wild, given the fact that everyone's developing AI at the same time and it's exploding? Yeah, absolutely. But there's opportunity in the AI agents, and I think the innovation can occur. I also think that um, OpenAI's operator is also super interesting because that the combination of the two could work almost in tandem. Where DeepSeek is out there coming out with innovation and the conversation and the analysis, and
yeah,
an operator is pushing it through to X and all social media platforms and automating things and stuff like that. So like there's a lot going on that I think is really interesting, and I think going to provide more innovation across the board, and it's going to push the other ones that are already doing it to move faster and to move better. So
absolutely.
it's
And
pretty
just to
crazy.
touch on what you said, like again, I'm not a super into AI, like the whole technical side of it, but I think overall decentralization. And I think what kind of scared a lot of people is that OpenAI was like creating the whole thing so far. But I think decentralization is good overall. Who knows? Maybe the AI just takes over and it doesn't matter anyway. But
The
I think
they call DeepSeek the real open AI, right? Because it's actually the
really
one that's
open,
open source, right?
interesting. Yeah, for sure. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I want to maybe give like another 5 minutes or so to finish up the rest of the roads review. Before
Yeah,
we
yeah.
do that, Eddie, I'm looking at the chat. What's up, Eddie? What's up, Richard? And he says, when corrective channel masterclass. Yeah, no, that'll be out here soon, bro. I'm about 95% done with that. And I'll release that on the channel and on Twitter. Latroni says, what do you think about Milton? We'll go and look at that as well. What's up, Hawk? What's up, my boy Hawk? Latroni says, guys, what do you think? Yeah, I'll look at Milton and all the meme coins here in a second. But yeah, let's go ahead and let Rotes finish the review.
Sure. So, that disrupted everything. And then we also had more disruption where Abstract launches. It does not provide a token on drop because, we have to build up the ecosystem. And as such, Pudgy ecosystem completely annihilated itself. They will get a bit of a multiplier by having Pudgy assets, but that's really kind of the extent of it. So unless you're in on the Abstract ecosystem, then having the Pudgy is going to provide value. So there was a significant sell-off there. OpenSea version 2 was released. You have to have Genesis token to be able to access it. And it very much looks like Blur, and that caused a bit of panic and
so you
slaughter
needed
across
the
the NFT
NFT to
ecosystem.
access the 2.0?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that, if you have the Genesis token, then you can get into 2.0 and you can begin farming earlier. But it does look like farming type activity. They've said, no, it isn't. It's different, even though it looks the same. They've also said that, hey, we're going to still reward the OGs and past activities. So we'll wait to see. But, overall, a few catalysts for bearishness in the NFT space. AI market cap is now down to 10 billion, down from 17, down 11.5%. So still hasn't recovered, even if there's new agents entering, et cetera, et cetera. So
that's interesting. You would think it would come down more. I feel like the average, like with virtuals down 60 or 70%, I would think the average would be even more.
It's true, but there's been some that have rebounded. It also has things like Farcoin in there, and Farcoin at a billion market cap, it's going to help push it up a bit too. So,
For sure.
There's going to be a sliding scale there. On the NFT side of things, volume is still reasonable, but what I did put in here is the weekly movers. Yesterday, I had the daily movers as negatives. This is the weekly movers and the change as it come across the board. I think this does provide a bit of opportunity, and I also want to highlight the kind of the violent swings you can see in NFTs as well. So Azuki down to 3.71 ETH, down 68% over the week. Of course, Anime Token was launched. Anime Token was a confusing launch, and as such, it resulted in maybe a little less success. Azuki Elementals down 75%, down to 0.33. I think at a crazy value at that price. We'll have to see though. I mean, it's going to take time before the next iteration of Azuki goes forward. So, it's strictly a PFP play. Pudgy Penguins down 44%. Again, I mentioned it because of the abstract. Sappy Seals, because they're tied to Pudgy Penguins, etc. They're down 27% to 0.67. A lot of the other majors are kind of mostly flat. Very few that are up over the last week. On the Memecoin side of things, notable movers on the last 24 hours. Trump is up 7.5%, still down overall. Gig up 9.9%. Toshi up 22%. I assume there's a listing there or something like that. AIC up 62% on the AI side of things. And then we switched it to March price achievement, and 110K is expected to be about 78%, up a percent day over day. And 80K is at 23% probability, down 3%. So overall, fairly optimistic on the markets. And that's the review. Excited to see the dive in. Lots going on this week when it comes to FOMC meetings, all that kind of stuff. So it is a unpredictable week. Going to be some volatility. Lots is happening, and it's going to continue to be this way, I think, for the next few months as it is. So just kind of buckle in because it's going to be crazy.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that was right on point. Like 15 minutes, right on the dot for the Rotes review. I love that. We already have 534 viewers in here, guys, or at least views. And I'm sure some more on TikTok. How many we got on TikTok right now? Either way, love to see this. We're getting a ton of interaction in the chat. I do see you guys, Milton, the Milton community. We'll definitely check that out. I appreciate the engagement. We'll definitely check that out. The next chill guy. We'll see. But awesome. Thank you, Rotes, for that. Definitely lots going on this week. Yeah, FOMC. So let's go ahead and get on to the majors. I think I'm already sharing my screen if you guys want to pass that off to to me. Let's see here. So let's see here. Bitcoin. Is this screen on me or whoever has control of that?
Let me change. Give me a second.
Yeah. Thanks.
You should be good.
It's okay. There we go. All right, let's go to the major. So made a tweet yesterday here that this bounce on Bitcoin confirms corrective behavior. So essentially, there's three major phases that any asset's in at any given time. It's either an impulse, which is big moves up or down in one extended period of time. These are essentially the moves you want to be catching. There's corrections in between, which are essentially pullbacks or cool off periods before the move continues, and then there's peaks, which are tops or bottoms. Each of these phases has distinct characteristics. So when I say something looks corrective, it means, or it's showing corrective behavior, it means a few things. Usually corrections have lack of consolidation, meaning they come down pretty quickly. They make multiple lows and bounces. When Bitcoin made a bounce here, that pretty much told me that we're very unlikely, or pretty much unlikely that we're going to keep going down here and impulse down to the downside. Instead, this piece right here since January 20th or whatever, January 19th, January 20th is instead corrective. And, like I said in the tweet here, I do even if we were to come down one more time in the channel, I'm very, very unlikely that we're going to go down to 90K from here. Unless it chops down in this channel all the way down to 90, which again is unlikely. I think we either come down here and bottom out, or it's possibly come down and form one more fresh low under 100. But this piece right here, chart wise, is very, very corrective. And then when you just add on all the positive catalysts that have come in, the clarity from legislators and the regulators over the next few months, even if it takes 6 months, whatever, is just extremely bullish for our industry. I think K Money kind of said it perfectly here, that it feels identical to last year when the Bitcoin ETF came out. Everything came out, everybody was flooding, whatever, sell the news. And then after a few months, everything went up. It's the same thing. It's like an obvious positive catalyst is coming. That's going to contribute to a lot of money coming into crypto. But, the first few weeks after that, stuff gets too euphoric, we cool off, and then, things head up. So I think that's the exact same thing that's going to happen here for the majors and for memes as well. Bitcoin, I expect very possibly could either bottom out at 99 and retest this low, or could even come down and form a fresh low over 100. But I think in the next few weeks, either after this next low or possibly another one after that this piece right here is very corrective, and we will move up here above all-time highs and very likely to between like 120, 150. I don't think this time we got just a move up out of this correction, 60. I think we'll see a bigger move than we got out of this one, due to, whatever. So ETH, a lot of people are calling for the death of ETH. I think it's ridiculous. I think obviously Sol has outperformed due to meme coins being dominating crypto, and obviously it makes a lot of sense. But I think what's going in the future, what most of the volume is going to come from, is not going to just be meme coin trading, just crypto block space demand in general. It's going to be RWAs, DeFi, NFTs like contracts and tickets being NFTs, all that different stuff. I think the regulation that's coming out is going to allow for these things, and Ethereum is going to be the biggest beneficiary of those, of the legislation and the regulations and stuff. For that reason, I think ETH, very likely same as Bitcoin, either from here or one more low, is going to bottom out and go on an explosive run. If we look at Sol ETH, which tracks the strength of Sol versus ETH over time, one of two things is going to happen here. It's at a very big decision point. Anybody who knows about double tops, technically this is a big consolidation, right? So either Sol's going to top out at this major high and form a major reversal, and ETH is going to outperform, or it's going to crack right through this high and confirm more upside. To me, I'm leaning probably like 60-40 to what I have marked out here, where Sol forms a major reversal. But again, if say another celebrity drops a meme coin on Solana tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if this shit just keeps ripping. As we saw here in November, Sol actually went down 20% against ETH. I think that's very possible here again, and it might be more of a sustainable move. Either way, I think the smart thing to do, it's not a battle. Despite what most people make it on Twitter, I don't think it's Sol versus ETH. I think the smart thing to do is own a bag and accumulate a position or hold a position of both of these things. Right? They're both going to do great in the future. But yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. I do have ETH and Sol longs. I definitely have a heavier ETH long again because I do think it very likely outperforms. But yeah, they're both going to do well. Let me look at the S&P 500, which is interesting this week. It's moving up strong. We've been telling you in this channel or in these streams for a while that this was very corrective and that sometime in the next several weeks we'd move back to the upside. That's what we've done over the next few weeks or over the last few weeks. Obviously, the DeepSeek thing took all assets down, but you know, to me, it was very. I've seen stuff like this before. It's very likely overblown. And as you can see, it quickly recovered. I think the S&P 500 and all risk assets are likely just to continue to rip up this year, as long as there's not some crazy recession or black swan that comes out of nowhere. Another one, Total 3, which measures the total crypto market cap. I think very likely is just correcting here again, just forming a big consolidation. On this next leg up, I do think we are going to rip higher here and head into the over 1 trillion. And then let me see. How do I purchase Mongolian? Can you check Milton? Yeah, we'll check all that. What else should I be checking? Doge,
AVAX.
Yeah, of course. So just to kind of conclude on what I said about ETH, Bitcoin, and Sol, I think in the next few weeks, whether it be from here as we retest this low at whatever 98, or after one more low, it's obvious that over the last few weeks we've been coiling up, and I expect over the next few weeks that Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol will move higher, which will contribute to memes and everything else recovering, which we will talk about in a second with the memes. But just the bigger cap coins, I think Doge to me is obviously in a big corrective channel as well. Could form another low here, go a little bit lower if Bitcoin were to as well. But I think very obviously corrective here, and I would not be selling any Doge. I think Doge has yet to really have a massive run. The fact that we're, again, 3x below or 2x below the all-time high, and we've barely heard too much about it. It's not, not too euphoric yet. I do think Doge is going to go to $1 very likely on this next run. So chart-wise, looks beautiful. If you're looking for, for stuff that's higher cap, but it still has a ton of upside, I think Doge is an obvious one. But yeah, AVAX, we go over these, on the stream every time. It's AVAX. I think the gaming narrative is going to take over at some point, and AVAX is going to be a huge beneficiary of that because a lot of these games, like Off the Grid and stuff that have come out so far, and a lot of the other ones are all running on AVAX or on Avalanche. So short term, nice little corrective channel. I do think it's eventually going to move to all-time highs here. XRP. Yeah, I expect XRP to continue to do well this year. There's talks of an ETF and all that. I think obviously the time would have been better to be buying down here in September or even last month. But I do think it likely could head towards $5+ dollars. It's just a lot of money has to be pumped into this now just to move it a lot. But with that being said, I would expect it to move higher this year. So I'm not looking at the chat, but damn, you're relentless with the Milton stuff. We'll get to that. Like I said, do you have a general channel where we can see about technical analysis? Like I said, tune in to our channel. I'm coming out with a lot of my chart strategy here soon. I do like chart stuff. It's tough. I as far as crypto Twitter stuff, I like Kaleo on Twitter is great. There's a few others as well, chart wise, but I think if there's not anything I missed, guys, I know a lot of people are here for the meme coins. So, is there anything you can think of as far as bigger trading view?
Sui.
Yeah. Again, I think all of these coins that have performed well during this year, during last year, especially towards the end of the year, should continue to do well. Going into next year. Again, I like stuff like AVAX, maybe other stuff more than Sui risk to reward wise, but this is actually probably the biggest correction Sui's had since April. So if you've been looking for a chance to get or an opportunity to get into SUI with a big pullback, probably your chance.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, perhaps can we pull up the Jupiter chart?
Of course, good one.
There's a narrative going on right now on X that, well-known influencers and investors are buying buyback tokens, so Hype, Radium, and Jupiter, as a safe haven for kind of like this downside, just because the team buys their own supply from the market, right?
Yeah.
And there's incentives about it too as well.
Yeah, I think there's some obvious narratives for Jupiter. Obviously, it's like the biggest DEX on like the biggest, chain pretty much, at least for Memecoin trading. And then what I really have seen from Jupiter lately is like they're really building a lot of shit and like shipping shit and doing some cool stuff. So I really like this. As far as chart wise, this is just a giant consolidation from July that it's held, which is very bullish for like a longer term base. And then it's formed like another little consolidation within that. I think once it breaks above 1.4 here, it's just going to be off to the races and very likely, powered by this bull run that's coming in crypto. For crypto overall, I think it's going to break all time highs. So
Yeah,
I
check out
really,
Radium.
what'd you say? Radium?
Yeah,
You say pull up Radium?
yeah, because I think it's even cheaper to transact on, and perhaps even has more upside than Jupiter.
For sure.
It already looks good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that does look good. I think it's also just forming a nice base, probably goes back to all time highs. But yeah, if I wasn't clear, guys, I do think pretty much, I do think this cool off and all this time that we've got is literally the best thing that could happen going into 2025. If we were to go into 2025 with all this stuff with Trump, prices, everything was at all-time highs, everybody was bullish, then I would think, okay, we're probably a little bit too, ahead of ourselves. But the fact that we got leverage to cool off all this stuff going into all this positive catalyst is again the best thing that can happen. It's the same thing that happened to the ETF. The prices came down and crashed into a very obviously positive catalyst, and then after the dust settled, we saw everything go up. I think that's exactly what's going to happen now. I also made this tweet really quickly before we move on to Radium about meme coins as well, which we're about to kind of transition into. Sorry, where'd I go? People are calling for the death of memes. This happens a lot. You see a lot of the narrative right now is not even people telling people to hold, but just like really thinking these things are dead. If you really study a lot of these historical charts, this has happened like a lot through these bull runs. Whenever Bitcoin comes down 10, 15, 20%, the alts and the memes come down 50 to 70. It's just part of the game. With big runs up just comes big corrections. But it's really simple right now. Again, Bitcoin eats soul, like we went over, I think are going to go up. But a lot of these memes, AI stuff, which we'll go over, are just in obvious 50, 70% corrections. The biggest wins come from really the people that have the courage to kind of dispel the fear in the FUD and put in the dry powder into these quality coins. Of course, not everything's going to go up. But right now, if you're really confused, you see a lot of people bearish on Twitter. Completely understandable. It's been a rough time. But just know that these 50, 70% corrections are not out of the ordinary for these bull markets. I've been lucky to live through two or three of these, and not only is it common, but this will happen again next year. So yeah, I do think something like Radium does look good. I think a lot of these coins that didn't really do too much up until this point, kind of the older coins, will have a moment this year. So yeah, I like Radium as well. With that,
Is Hype doing well? If we're looking at these buyback
Hype,
coins,
that's another good one.
yeah.
So Hype also correcting like everything else, but I really like this Hype correction in the sense that it's very choppy. It's not impulsive at all, and then it consolidated here for pretty much this whole month. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hype just take off here from here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I like it. I mean, you're seeing the team really buying back supply from the market in a time where most people are losing their faith in crypto, at least in the last few days. Even you see like the stock market rebounding pretty well, at least Nvidia. And then most of our AI tokens are still in correction mode.
Right on. And yeah, I do want to
But
talk about AI like we did last week. That was a great discussion. I do want a
But
lot of these
any
guys.
tokens related to like staking? Sorry, I don't know if I'm
No, I
lying.
think you cut out for a second, but go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I'm saying that tokens that are actually, you know, incentivizing holders within staking
Mhm.
and they have solid revenues are doing well. Like Radium, Jupiter, JLP, and
Now,
Hype.
do you think that's because the regulatory clarity, like stuff people are thinking maybe there'll be rev sharing on tokens will be like more of a acceptable thing? So these coins in the future will have, or do they already have
I,
fee sharing kind of thing?
I think that's a great point. But what I also realize is that, people are betting on teams that have enough dry powder
Hmm.
and a heavy treasury. So it just feels like all these teams that have been collecting fees and revenue for the last 6 to 12 months are doing better now. You're seeing the
Absolutely.
team buying back the supply, which is always not when things are going up, but when things are going down. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's a point we make on this stream a lot that it's really just doesn't matter if it's a NFT project, a crypto project. At the end of the day, the long term trajectory is driven by the operators and their ability to drive the ship. Um, I see everybody talking about Trump. I do want to segue into some other memes right now. We're going to go ahead and go back into the AI stuff in a little bit here, maybe in 10 or 15 minutes. But let's go ahead and check out some of these coins you guys are talking about in here. We'll go ahead and start with Trump. Sorry, I was just getting some water real quick. Trump, though, I think 0 to 70 billion FDV run. Obviously Melania was the kind of little bit of a quote unquote catalyst that kind of brought it down. But I think either way, whether it was Melania or something else, it was due for a correction after a 0 to 70 billion run. And I think most of this downside on Trump is a result more of the entire market coming down versus anything else. And for that reason, I did take a bit of Trump off as we were coming down here, maybe 30% of my position from way down here. But not only do I hold most of my Trump position, but I'm adding to it. Again, I do think on the way up here, when everything else does recover pretty soon here, Trump will be a big mover as well. Again, possible that we come down one more time if everything else does come down, ETH, Bitcoin, and Sol. In which case, though, I do think over the next few months, once everything else, I think the biggest part, especially now that we're into meme coins, I think the biggest part of the meme coin hype cycle is yet to come in both prices and everything. I mean, if you look back in the past cycles, so I think it's ridiculous that people are calling for a top right now just because at the end of every single cycle we've had 2017 2020 there's been a time where there's just been crypto's just like the talk of the town, like everybody's trading crypto, super euphoric. Coinbase is the top app for 1 or 2 months. And obviously COVID and stuff accelerated that, but we're nowhere near that now. Normies are just starting to come in kind of in November, and now with this Trump thing we're really starting to see them slowly trickle in. But my whole point is we're nowhere near those euphoric like indicators. And for that reason, I think we have a lot more room to go in price and euphoria. And at this point, now that we're already in February and we haven't started this, I think it's very likely that we head probably into the end of 2026 with a lot of this hype, this bubble. So that's kind of my basic. I think a lot of people assume this stuff's going to end in March. Even people who kind of just started crypto a year ago from now. I disagree. I think we're probably going to go in deeper into the year, but of course, take profits on the way up either way. But my whole point is, I do think the meme coin part of the cycle, the hype part of crypto cycle in general, we're just getting started, and for that reason, Trump will be a big winner of this next move up, just because again it's the president's meme coin, as well as they could do the littlest announcement, littlest integration with Trump coin, and it would send this thing back up. We were talking about operators earlier. I think the Trumps have the more ability to do anything with this coin if they choose to, than any operator in the meme coin space ever. And then on top of that, their unlocks are 2 months away. So for that reason, I am accumulating more Trump here. Best case scenario, it just shifts off this 5 days consolidation, and we just head up from here. But over the next few weeks, whenever the meme coins do bottom out, I do think Trump is going to be a big winner. Maybe how far does it go? Who knows? I think FDV wise could go over 100, which it's at 26 now, and it could get really crazy if this we does get really hypey. So
yeah, did you see that big whale buying back
Really?
Trump.
No, today?
Yeah, it's one of the whales that made like 24 million, some sort of like crazy profit, and it's been buying over the last few days.
Right
Yeah.
on. And we do see you guys commenting on the stream. I appreciate you guys for commenting on the actual post as well. That does get this out to more people. With that being said, let's do a quick reset really quickly. I'll go ahead and start it. I want these guys to give a little bit of a breakdown of what they're doing. But if you guys are new to the stream, welcome. If you guys can go and like, reply, comment, engage on the post on the stream so we can get this out to more people, be much appreciated. Again, my name is Bren. Just got back on Twitter after like a 6-month hiatus recently. Super stoked to be back on here, but we've been doing these streams for 6 months now. It's been super exciting to see not only crypto, AI, memes, but NFTs start to really heat up now, and all the engagement on the stream. We love to do this. I spend a lot of my time when I'm not on Twitter and trading in the Telegram, that I've kind of, that I co-own / run with my business partner, Bossman. I do all my in-depth write-ups and analysis, streams, giveaways, cool stuff in there. The link is in the bio of my stream or my Twitter. I think might be in this post as well. Follow everybody on the panel here. But I'm going to pass it off to these guys. But first, I love doing these streams with these guys for Loco, Danks, Rotes. My boy Yoni hops on a lot of times as well. So follow everybody on there. But for Loco, you want to tell them a little bit about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I can hop in here. Just another preface. We do these streams Tuesday, Fridays. Tuesday at 1 p.m. This is the one you're on right now, Pacific time. And then Friday at 10 a.m., a little bit earlier just to get the Friday out of the way. But 10 a.m. Pacific. Me, For Loco, and Rotes, we're all come from Bridgely Labs. We started off as 1,000 PFP NFT on Ethereum. That's the beast profile picture we have right now. Pretty small, selective group. Mostly investors, developers, people building in crypto full time, and we like to get those people together, getting some trade ideas in, getting some good alpha, getting some interesting arbitrage bets sometime soon. All discussed on Discord. That's kind of where we are. We do have a Telegram, but Discord's kind of where we all hang out. Right now, we're developing some AI stuff, AI agents specifically in relationship to crypto. We think that DeepSeek and the new foundational models are going to be great for AI development and AI agents in general. And so we're looking for some high tech, highly skilled devs, top of the line to partner with. We do have a venture studio process, and we're taking applications all the time and looking to partner with some very specific, I guess, entrepreneurs, CEO, devs looking to build in the intersection of AI and crypto. So feel free to reach out.
Hey
Bren,
guys.
anything else we're missing? If we're
No,
looking,
Yeah,
anything
can
else
you
we're
guys hear
missing?
me?
Yeah, you're good.
You cut out, but he just did the plug for everything you guys going
Oh,
going on
okay.
with
So
you.
I was just wronging. But
No worries. Yeah, feel free to add on whatever.
so I know someone in the comments mentioned if we do technical trading or like if we actually show uh, how we trade in Discord. And so we do. We actually have an NFT called B3L Beasts, and it's only 1,000 NFT collection. You can find it on Magic Eden. And once you buy the NFT, you get access to Discord, and you can see all the trading and all the educational lessons that we can like do over there.
Right
So
on, right on.
that
Yeah,
sounds
definitely
pretty
check out
cool.
everything their guys are doing. I'm in there as well. A lot of smart people, and just great vibes in there. So, um, definitely follow everybody that's on the panel as well. And like I said, if you guys could like, comment, whatever on the post as well, it helps a lot. But Milton, brother, Latroni guy, brother, I appreciate the persistence, but we're not done. We'll definitely look at it. Crypto Envy, yeah, okay,
We're
awesome.
just getting started. Crypto Envy is a longtime listener, so he knows. He understands what's going on.
No, for sure. I was talking to Latroni, but yeah, we still got at least 45 minutes left in the show, so don't worry. Let's go ahead and head to Milton. But yeah, Trump. I do think Trump is either bottomed or close to bottom, and will be a big runner in this next meme coin run. Milton, it's an interesting chart. Let's see. Let's go on log. It has kind of been consolidating here for a few days, but it is only a few days old.
No, it looks kind of old. No, it looks
No,
like a
I'm
month
tripping.
old.
Not a few days, but like 10.
Yeah.
So This is consolidation, so it could either be a major top or it could just act as a correction and head higher. Um, so what you want to see it do is essentially bounce off between here and this low and then eventually break the all-time high. That's kind of your indicator that we're out of this consolidation, that we're going to head higher. Because if it were to consolidate for a bit and then break that low there, any type of consolidation for an extended period of time and a break of the consolidation low oftentimes leads to a bigger reversal. I'll show you an example of this on Moomoo. I mean, even Zero Bro, but Moomoo is probably like a super obvious example of this. And again, if you're in Moomoo, I'm not trying to FUD it. Who knows? This might come back. My point is just to show you that when something consolidates, especially here on Moomoo for a month here, or month, what am I saying? Like 6 months, that you see it consolidated here. When it broke the bottom of that consolidation low, as you can see, it just kept going down another 60%. That's kind of what you're watching here on the other one. You want to make sure it doesn't break below this consolidation low, because then it could go lower. But with that being said, I think there's a good chance that if it's a good community, all that it could keep going higher. I do like how it corrected a lot and then keeps recovering. That's usually a good thing. But yeah, that's what you want to see, brother, that it bottoms out here and then breaks the all-time high. Milton, Memdex. So just here, I'm going to scroll back to, let's just fire off a few that you guys are, is it Memedex? What's the, so I don't have to go back on the screen. Danksy, what's the ticker for the Memedex? What is it?
It's MEMDX100. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I remember Yoni was showing me this. So I really like how obvious, you see how very healthy price action, how it goes up and then every few days forms like a nice choppy correction. That's what I view this one as well. It's already coming out of it and starting to get really impulsive. Very likely that goes back to all-time highs here. You just want to make sure that it breaks through that all-time high. What I like to do, and another tip here is, especially if you're entering on corrections, I like to take 10 to 25% off of my position back at the all-time highs. It's usually just a good move, because if it's going to reverse, usually it'll be at the prior all-time high. And if it does reverse there, at least you lock in some gains. And if it keeps going, you still have 90 to 75 to 90% of your position. So my whole point there, is you want to make sure that Memdex does break that 45, 45 million all-time high. What it probably will do is, best case scenario, kind of pulls back a little bit there and then just fires right through it. That's kind of the best case scenario. Obviously, if it starts to pull back here, it could come back down and form a bigger consolidation, and then you'd have to reevaluate. But the fact that it's looking strong here very likely just breaks. That's what I'd be looking for. Viral TikTok meme. Yeah, we'll look at Fartcoin. Pill and Goose. I'm just looking at a few right now. Fartcoin.
Yeah, Fartcoin, we can pull up some other of the cult memes that we talk about normally too.
I just wanted to get a few. I just wanted to hit the few of the requests for the guys in the chat. Fartcoin. That's not. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. So very deep correction for Fartcoin, but very corrective. I really like how I had no consolidation up top. It's very easy to see historical context on even just on Fartcoin alone, how it just paints these nice corrections. This one is just another example of this one in January. I do think Fartcoin, again, this is just one of these things. You see people on Twitter right now, like fudding that all these memes that are just so obviously like great, huge communities, still a lot of people talking about it in these deep corrections. But I'm telling you, these are the best opportunities. I'm not saying specifically Fartcoin, even though I am bullish on Fartcoin. My point is just like there's so many coins. Mog, for example, which we can go over, is down 60%. As long as the entire market hasn't topped out here, which it hasn't, the chances that Mog's not going to go back to all-time highs and beyond are just very small. It's just there's so many opportunities right now that if you're willing to just dispel the FUD, that it's just crazy. Fartcoin being one of them, I think. 60% correction, but again, beautiful choppy correction. Obviously, a huge cult around Fartcoin. I think very good buy here, and if it goes down, most of the downside is over, is what I'm trying to get at. So Fartcoin looks great. Deef, yeah, we already went over Jup. Yeah, I'll check out Listen. I just want to take out a few requests, then we'll go over the cult meme stuff and then some AI stuff too. So Listen actually looks very corrective as well. Pretty tight correction too. It's only down, what is that, like 40%? Now I don't know what this is. I assume it's some type of AI stuff having to do with like a podcast or some Listen. I don't know. But I do like this correction alone without knowing anything else. Very choppy correction. Very, very good chance that if it comes down one more time, even that it's going to go back to all-time highs, just based on this correction alone. I don't know what the ceiling is on this thing because I don't know the anything else about it. Do you know anything about this for Loco?
About Listen?
Yeah.
No, nothing
Okay,
at all.
perfect. Yeah, me neither.
We got a bunch still. Yon just got on. How you doing, Yon? Yoni?
What's going on,
Yoni?
boys?
Just so you know, it's Yoni.
Yoni?
Yeah, but he's saying it because of Yon Wick.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, I just saw. I'm just reading it off the screen.
Yeah,
I'm
you're right.
good. I'm good with that. What's
Bet.
going on?
That's good. We got a bunch of new meme coins: Vine, Trust, Grafane, Pengu.
But yeah, let's hit Pengu and a few other the non-AI ones.
Whatever it is, it's down.
Yeah, right.
The other one is the GoFund meme. Have you guys heard about that one?
That's the only one that's not down.
Right.
Yeah, Yoni was showing me that last night. Let's look at that. GoFund meme.
By the way, I didn't know that this was actually something. I thought it was just a meme. I would have definitely bought in if I knew it's like supposed to be a pump fund rival, but it's just not launched yet.
Really? That's kind of cool.
Or I don't know if it was just a rumor, but
Whoever suggested Vine, we'll look at that in a second. But so it's you can launch tokens through it.
I guess, but I supposedly no product yet. But yeah.
All right, let's see. Yeah,
Is it 10x better than Pump Fund?
What'd you say?
I don't think so. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's 10x better than Pump Fund. So it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna do very well.
No, I mean I don't know what it is. I mean I could be wrong too. That's just what I heard. But
yeah, as far as the chart goes, it's sitting right on top of this prior all-time high with some consolidation. Like we said before, consolidation is tricky because it could either be a correction or it could be a major top. But if it were to just shift up from here, very likely is just a correction. You just don't want to see it consolidate here for like a longer period of time because if it does break this low, it could go a lot lower. But with this momentum here, if I had to guess, it probably shifts up here in the next few days and just continues to the upside. As far as the stuff you've been looking at it for, as far as Yoni, does it still seem like people are buying it? Like it's active? Is there any insight you can give us on this one?
What? On what?
Meme?
Yeah, it does seem like people are buying it. I mean, it's yesterday I saw it at like 50 or 60 million. I didn't think it was going to double. And then I saw it just like moving and it hasn't stopped. It's been holding every level. Yeah, I'm not sure how people could have so much conviction so quick, but the chart seems like it's holding and people seem to still have their money in for now.
Yeah. Looks good. Just got to make sure if you are watching this chart, if it does break 74 with like a daily candle close, just look out because it could reverse back down to like 26, 35 area where there's more of this, consolidation. But that definitely is not what has to happen. It could just shift up from here as well. So Grafane, we'll look at Grafane, Pengu. I want to knock out a few of these non-AI ones real quick. Pengu, one of them. I think Pengu, again, just an operator play. I do think the NFT bull run has just not even started yet. And even though it did break this low here, which is pretty crazy, I did say a while back that I really, if Pengu were to go like under 2 bill, then that's where I would probably start building like a bigger position. I would personally want to wait for some consolidation or a sign that it's not going to keep just knifing. But I do think as long as the whole crypto market doesn't bottom out, what they're doing here with Abstract and just the fact that Luca's just such a great operator, I do think they will figure out a way to build hype and partnerships and all this stuff around that. I think it just again launched at such a crazy valuation in combination with the whole market kind of just taking a shit that this is going to happen a lot of times. So you guys, what is your takes on Pengu overall for Loco? Thanks, E.
Yeah. I definitely was surprised that it did so harsh over the last, I guess, 24, 48 hours.
Yeah.
I was hoping it will wait a little bit longer until abstract kind of like goes live. But also the NFTs, and I know Rose will probably talk about it, but Pudgy is also down like 50 to 60% over the last 30 days, which is brutal.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll talk about that a little bit with the NFTs, but I feel like the NFT bull run hasn't even started. And if we've seen anything with this Trump thing, I think it might just be waiting on some kind of singular catalyst. Who knows what that may be, to really get, things going. But yeah, interesting to see. I think you look at the operator, with Luca and stuff. I would like to see some consolidation, but I highly doubt that it's the end for Pengu overall. Um, let's
Yeah, I
see
think
what.
just people got very excited and levered their NFTs to buy more NFTs or more Pengu. And so when the market makers weren't to tap in, to the levels below point zero zero two for the Pengu, I think it triggered a cascade liquidations. And so it affected also NFTs. I think it's just like mass liquidations all aboard.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Uh, someone asked about Popcat. Popcat to me, deep correction, but again, just a super strong mind share like overall in crypto. We're gonna see these, how big was this Popcat correction? Pretty huge, 60, 70%. Again, Bitcoin goes down 25% in these bull runs. Oftentimes other stuff goes down 50 to 70. I could show you charts from Doge, Shib, stuff like that dips during these majors corrections. Again, it gets brutal. But with that being said, I do think Popcat will consolidate here and make its way back to all-time highs. I do think there is something to be said that Giga, SPX, and even Mog held a little bit better, especially Giga and SPX. I think that does point to more diamond-handedness and more of like a different kind of community, why I have more of my money in those and have like a different outlook. But with that being said, I do think Popcat very likely bottoms out uh, pretty soon here. Most of the downside's done on this and all these memes, and very likely heads back to all-time highs sometime this year. For look, are you still holding your Popcat, brother? Or
You
what's your
know what? I swapped back a while ago.
okay?
Both my Nietzsche and Popcat. It hurts, but I also, you know, I'm holding too many things,
Yeah,
and right now I transition into the AI agents where I put most of my research time,
yeah.
and I'm also getting hammered right now. So hopefully Johnny is doing better than me.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. No, that makes sense. Fair enough, bro. Definitely, you want to have your money with the stuff that you're really like tapped into and locked into, so you can form a better thesis. So that's fire. Let's see.
I do think it will probably rebound at some point. I just don't know the strength of like animal memes with the market so saturated. So I'd rather
Yeah,
place my bets somewhere where I believe the macro is also going, which is AI and deepen, etc.
interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. So zero, bro. Somebody asked about crazy zero, bro, for real, dude. Like zero, bro, or zero,
Zero, bro.
bro. Like, nah. With that being said, under 100, Yoni, what are your thoughts on this, dude?
My bad, my mic was glitching. Zero bro under 100. I mean, it's tough. If I'm being honest, I mean, it sounds like a sure bet, right? To at least go back to like nearly what it was, not even all-time highs. Half of all-time high would be a play from here, but I don't know. These things change and are so rotational, and it's like we want to believe that it's all on the developer shipping, but if you're not taking profits, you're kind of at the mercy of the market. And it's almost like Loco says, it's like when these moments happen, do you wish you were more consolidated or wish you had traded differently? Or so for a lot of these coins, do I believe that they'll be higher? Yeah. Do I maybe think that there are other bets that are maybe better bets in this climate right now or better charts? Like, yeah, probably. Even though I love the project, like I sold out of it myself and I want to try and get back in. Now's probably a decent time, but when I'm forced to look at a bunch of projects, a bunch of plays, and kind of pick zero, bro, it gets more difficult for me to pick that over some of the others.
Yeah, for sure. Again, yeah, I do. You made some great points. For me, I want to see some consolidation and signs that this has slowed down. But I do think it comes back down to the operator and all that. I think the only reason Zero Bro was on the top, the only reason AIXBT was on the top is, again, it's an attention game. They're the best at getting attention on Twitter. Therefore, they're the ones kind of the highest market cap are kind of dominating. Obviously, GOAT had its run, AI16Z a little bit different. And for that reason, I do think it's very likely that as long as the whole AI space doesn't die here, which it won't, that Zero Bro very likely makes a recovery.
Yeah, I mean, I guess another thought is really like it's a great buy. How much lower can it go, right? Like from here, it's already taken
I
such a
think,
long
yeah,
time.
I think like the whole meme coin space, and it's evident by Bitcoin that most of the downside's done. So I would say the same thing for this, especially the fact that it's whatever. If we were entering a bear market, I could say this will go down another. It could go down another 90. But where we're at with everything else, I think it bottoms out here pretty soon. But I think Yoni said, yeah, everything's a rotation game. Yeah, that's true. But I think also it can just be summed down to that everything's going to correct. The coins, MLG, Vine, which we'll go over here in a second, that everybody's hyped on now, they too will go through this. And other people will say, oh, those, and at that time, people will say, oh, those coins done. It's just the
Well,
rotation.
no, it's not about them being done. I just think you're giving back all your gains
No,
on a lot
I'm talking
of
about the
these.
people who are saying that though.
Oh, sorry.
But
Yeah.
no, you're good. What
Well,
what are
some
you
of these
saying?
projects, I think you're safe, right? Some of these projects, like the ones that you're big on, some of these projects that you can have conviction that have been here a little bit longer, it might be easier.
Mhm.
Obviously, AI projects will last. The thing is, though, you're just giving back a lot of your gains, right? And I think it becomes harder over time to watch that, especially when there's such nasty corrections on some of these other projects.
Yeah. I think my point too is like everything's going to correct like that though. You see
Right.
all the AI coins are going through it now. I think the only things, the ones that kind of have avoided it are like, is AI16Z? What was the biggest one that
Brad,
went through?
you want to pull up Sora Light from
Yeah.
TikTok? We'll see to look at that as well.
Yeah. 1 second once I'm done with this. AI16Z. You said Sora?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Wow. AI16Z is also down like 75. But yeah, I think we saw Mog, like I said in that post, like Mog, Giga, all of these coins go down through 90%, 80, 90%, 70 to 90% corrections. The ones that everybody are hyped on right now, MLG, kind of already went through it. But my whole point is every coin, doesn't matter if it's AI, meme coin, goes through this period where it usually goes down 70 to 90%. But just like we saw with Mog, Giga, all of those, the people that bought and held strong and kept going during those times, I know a lot of people are up millions because they're up on those coins. So I would say, who knows how dramatic it's going to be. The same thing is going to happen with any of these coins that are down right now and end up recovering. So yeah, Zero Bro, not as obvious as AI16Z. I do like how at least it's in like a little bit of a corrective channel. But yeah, if let's say AI16D does go back to all time highs, which I think there's a good chance it does. Anybody who's buying down here is going to be up massive. So yeah. What do you guys think? AI16Z? You would have to think if the whole AI space kind of has
Yeah.
a resurgence. This is a key piece of it. So probably a good buy. No.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of fun with the founder and the way he kind of like behaves publicly.
Yeah.
But they do have the most amount of qualified devs, as well as what the GitHub, whatever you want to call it, seems to be the most utilized globally. So I do think at some point it will come back.
Yeah.
Same thing for Griffin and Arc. I think they're getting also massacred here, but it's
Yeah,
just part
and
of
there was a
the
bullet,
60 to 80% corrections.
and there was a bullish announcement today with ARK, like a partnership with Solana. It had a little mini pump, but still kind of retraced right after.
Yeah.
Someone says check Bully. We'll do that. Nomo says hate the rotation game. Yeah, I feel you, man. I think the biggest takeaway from this is if you take profits partially on the way up. You have to set these milestones for yourself. 25% when this is up 5x, so on and so forth. Even when these coins do inevitably correct, you've already locked in gains, and if you believe in the project, you can get in there again. I think those are the people who win the most, or the people who are going to win the most in this kind of cycle, or people who both believe in something, kind of hold a longer term position in something, while also taking profits on the way up. So that's kind of how you can kind of fight against that rotation game, but it is nasty. You definitely have to be versatile, or if you're all in on memes, sometimes you're going to miss out on gains for a couple months. So that's why I feel like we try to be pretty versatile between the memes and the AI stuff, especially in the streams with you guys. So someone's just said ticker Bitcoin. Let's look at Bully first.
You want to pull up Sora as well?
Oh yeah,
After?
my bad. I got you. Sora's probably on Trading View, huh?
I'm not sure.
I think
Check
it's a
it.
bigger one, right? It's like an alt. Real
Just check
quickly
out
though,
you'll be fine.
Bully. Wow, Bully's down. Wow, 95%, 94%. It's nasty. As far as Bully, like Yoni on Twitter and stuff, you still what's the talk on Bully like lately? Is any like updates or anything? I haven't really.
I mean, there's still some bully believers, I think, but not like seeing it everywhere or anything like that. At least on my end.
So this last leg is pretty nasty. Um, does look, lack of consolidation up top. If I had to guess, this probably does make another resurgence. It's just tough whenever it's down 95%. Because like Yoni brought up to me earlier, we were talking on the phone that like yesterday, like just the way it has just to get back to all time highs, it has to 10x, right? So it's pretty, it's a pretty crazy feat. But I do think it's possible it does get back there. I think there's probably a little bit more quote unquote safer bets and stuff like AI 16Z, Zero Bro, and all that. But I would say one last thing, if you're really feeling like down bad with this AI stuff, just remember that like a couple months ago, people were feeling the same way about a lot of these Giga and SPX and all that. It just goes to show that all these things are going to correct like this, right? It's just inevitable with these meme coins. They have big corrections. With big moves up come big moves down and corrections. So, but if you pick the right ones and the ones that survive, you can really make a lot of some gains here. Yeah. So we'll look at. Oh, Sora. I keep forgetting. Oh, my bad. Sora. Sora Labs, right?
I don't know. Light, can you confirm this is the right one?
I assume probably it is. It's a 11. Probably it. If this is the one, then let's see. If this is the yeah, looks pretty corrective. I don't know too much about it other than the chart, but it looks like a
He
few of
gave
these
you a
other
thumbs
corrections.
up, so that's the right one.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, looks pretty corrective. If it does make another low, that's probably where you want to add if you do believe in this thing. But overall, this does look very corrective on the lower time frames. The higher time frames. I do think it's going to do something similar to this one did, where it just makes this drop down low. You'd like to see some consolidation right here for a few days to kind of confirm, but I think this is inevitably going to go up either over after one more low or from here. So I would hold on to this. But let's go over a few again. Right now, most of my money, the ones that I'm still accumulating, are the ones that I think have the highest upside and have held really well during these times. Giga, SPX, Mog probably being just like the craziest no brainer here, down 60%. I'm seeing a lot of people kind of panic here with even Mog, who has gone through this multiple times. We saw 900 down to 300 just back in September. You can see on this even bigger one, and the one I always show people. Oh, this is on base. That's why.
You guys think it's the Coinbase dagger? Same happened to Mudeng and other
Yeah, again,
tokens
I think
whenever they
people are
got
putting too
listed.
much credit on the initial like listing of Coinbase. I don't think it matters. What matters is when a bunch of people later this year are trading on Coinbase and what it does there. I guess it could be some kind of curse or some shit like the Binance perp curse, but like I don't think it's I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, man. It's interesting because you're seeing some of the quote unquote blue chip memes take these massive corrections during a period where most people thought we were gonna hit new all-time highs.
Yeah,
So
like I said, bro, if you just look, I just tells a lot of people just don't look at charts because I'm not like you see back here we had this 60-70% crash, whereas another one here from 500 to 150. The biggest one I show people is this one where I first found out about Mog back when it spiked up to 400 and then came all the way back down to 7. And this time there's still so many. That's why I love Mog because people are rating just as hard, if not harder, during this time, and that's really what took them here. So for anybody who's panicking about these corrections, totally makes sense what Loco's saying. It's like you'd think, oh, Trump just came out the meme coin, everything should be going up right now. but it doesn't always work out perfectly day to day like this. And what we're seeing on these corrections has happened several times before. So that's what I would say about that.
Yeah, I don't think the mock community is super strong, and if you believe we're in a bull market, we'll definitely see new highs at some point this year,
For
for
sure.
sure.
What do
Before we
you?
move on to the AI stuff, I want to hear you guys' takes on like the state of AI and like lower cap stuff in general. But just to finish off, I think for me, Giga, SPX, Mog, Fwog, and probably the deepest one. Again, it's just a rite of passage for these coins to go through these big 70 to 90% corrections at some point. It acts as a do or die moment. It's like either it's dead from there or it climbs on to new heights. I think very, very likely Fwog is going to do the former. The content, the art, the mind share is all there. So I'm continuing to accumulate Fwog. I'd like to see it slow down here, but I do think it makes new all time highs this year.
How's the NFT doing? Curious.
The pawn is actually holding up pretty nicely. There hasn't been too many sales, but somebody like swept some at the bottom the other day. Oh wow, somebody does have one for 50. It looks like. But yeah, no, there's a bunch of listings under 50 now.
Damn.
Looks like my boy Max might have listed. Unfortunately, I won't go into too much detail, but or who it is or whatever. But like, I want to stop real quickly. Like, if you guys are listening, especially if you're new to crypto, like if you can afford it, I highly, highly, highly suggest getting a ledger or some kind of offline or whatever, not a hot wallet to store your coins and all that. There's been too many hacks this week. I've had two friends. My friend, lost over $100,000 in NFTs and some really good NFTs, Sprotos and a lot of V friends and a lot of stuff that he got completely drained from his wallet. I think this actually might. I don't know if he got this drained actually, but yeah. So please, if you can afford like a ledger, if you can't, just please like try to use you try your best to secure your stuff. Don't click on links. Don't use any the computer that you're trading your crypto on. If you are using a hot wallet and you can't afford a ledger, to download any games, anything like that, it's very easy to lose money. So, um,
100%. There's a few brutal hacks this week. Did you guys see that guy that lost the zombie CryptoPunk? That's pretty crazy.
yeah, I saw that too, man. Yeah,
That's a
and
big
then
gamble.
the UFD unicorn fart dust. You see that?
Yeah, yeah. I saw him speaking today on the FOMO Hour or whatever podcast.
Oh, they had him on.
What was it? Yes, they had it on.
Wow.
I can't remember what the reason was. Oh yeah, was it the Dove Wave tools hack
Yeah,
or
that's what they're
whatever?
speculating that it was made with Dog with Tools, which is like a bundler. Which,
Right.
yeah, do you see Dog with Tools also got they're
Yeah.
like they kept everybody's information and stuff. It's just a lot of crazy.
Not a good look. For
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, to answer your question about the pond, it looks like a lot of them are listing under here. Again, I think the future of the pond is just strictly based on if FWOG goes to 500 to a billion, stuff like that. I think it will, but until while it's down, I expect the NFTs to continue down as well.
Yes, sir.
I do want to hear. So yeah, for me, just to conclude, I think Mog, Giga, SPX, Bitcoin, FWOG, Trump are the best risk to reward buys here that you can buy with size that are all very likely, especially after down here, are going to go up 10 to 100x, some of them potentially. So I think that's kind of where I'm putting my money in. I know these guys for Loco, again, was talking about he shifted a lot of his stuff to AI stuff, which he's in. So I want to start off. I appreciate Hawk. I appreciate you, Hawk, saying that. Yoni, would you say right now, since you've kind of been in the lower cap side, even the last few days, you've been telling me a lot of the stuff that you've been doing. Would you say right now the state of the trenches are pretty dire right now? Do you think most of this stuff is kind of getting rugged? Like, what would you say about
It's
somebody who's thinking about getting to the trenches right now? Is it a good time or
fuck no. It's
how's
so
it look?
brutal.
Okay,
It's super brutal. I've never seen so many rugs in my life. The randomness of how fast things can go, um, with no rhyme or reason, and then potentially just aping the top of something and having it correct on you like immediately is just super high risk. Yeah, I would say if you have capital, buy stuff that that's out of correction. Taking new stuff right now seems insane. Honestly, you have to be like an insane trencher, and even then, it's tough.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I appreciate that insight because yeah, that's what I'm hearing from a lot of other people too. It seems like right now, a lot of the good devs or stuff like that might be, I don't know, kind of waiting, and a lot of scams are just kind of ripe right now with everything going on. So definitely be careful out there. There will be more conditions that kind of favor this whole thing, but the lower cap stuff, but seems pretty crazy out there right now. I want to touch on some AI stuff. I know everything's kind of pulling back. I mean, my kind of take on everything is just not AI, but memes in general. History has shown us that these periods happen, and the coins, not everything recovers, but the quality coins that you do buy during these times, or at least the ones you're holding, end up, being the biggest kind of wins and stuff like that. So, I mean, what are your take on the whole AI sector in general right now? What are some stuff that you think people should be looking at, or some good opportune, entries right now if people were to be looking at some AI stuff? Maybe I'll start with Yoni. I don't know
Can
if
you
you're
hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if you're asking me or for Luca.
No, yeah, I'll
Great
start with you.
opportunities. I've just been sitting in my bags. That's usually what I do when stuff comes down hard. If I don't have extra capital to deploy, I don't do much. I kind of trust on the research. So thank God there was ARC was always like one of the conviction bags for me. They announced that official Solana partnership today. That made it a little bit easier for me to have even more conviction now. If I had extra capital, I'd be buying, or I would have been buying yesterday. Hive, Buzz is another one that I just sat still in, and Moby is another one that I just sat still in. There are others on my list, others that I have smaller positions in, but these three, if I haven't added, I definitely haven't sold, and I'm expecting them to make a comeback. Same with AIXBT.
Right on, man. Yeah, I think AIXBT is kind of a no
It
brainer.
held better. It held better than a lot of the other ones, but still, I think it's higher.
Yeah.
It wants higher.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for me, it's similar. I'm adding AXBT, Farcoin, and Trisec mostly. But I have taken certain losses on other bets outside of the agents, and I'm fine with it. But I do want to make sure that if I'm right with this narrative, I think the bounce will definitely, it will make it up for the losses that I've taken short term. But hey, tax loss harvesting, right? For next year.
That's
Right.
it's a positive way to look at it. Love that.
Right.
Hell yeah. Okay. So yeah, kind of the same. It's like I think we can all agree that just kind of not overcomplicating it right now, focusing on a lot of these things that have performed well, who kind of are key pieces of infrastructure in AI, or maybe they have a lot of mind share like Zero Bro, despite these massive corrections. That's kind of the best bets right now on that. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of AI stuff newer stuff to start to pop out. I wanted to pull up virtual, but before I look at the chart for Loco, yeah, Yoni, you can chime in as well. You guys heard that virtual is um, going to be launching on Solana as well, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
this.
it was announced last week, I believe.
I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are interpreting it as like they're abandoning ETH, where I think it's just a lot of these projects they just integrate to other chains. It doesn't mean they're not, they're moving away from base necessarily. I've seen people speculate, some pretty smart people in other chats that I'm in, that some, since it's on Solana and there's so much volume or so much money already sitting on there, that very likely there's going to be some big agents to sprout out of the virtuals on Solana. Maybe some $1 billion ones, because again, there's just so much more money on Solana already ready to go to ape these things versus on base, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, what are your opinion on that? You
Yeah, I
think
do think it's a positive overall, especially for a protocol that is looking for mass adoption. You want to tap into as much liquidity as possible, and right now, Base really is. It's not really the. I mean, you can hold things, but it's not really. There's always like a in and out, and it's not really an efficient chain to trade in. Whereas Solana is really the number one chain, right? So you want to be in there. So I think overall it's a positive. And agents, when they start to transact in between each other, it'll be good that they're chain agnostic.
right
So
on?
I think
We haven't
that
heard from
Daniel
our.
Sesta did the same with Sonic with the Hey Anon,
How's
right?
that doing, by the way? What is the coin Sonic?
No, it's all Hey Anon. Oh, Anon.
Hi Anon, yeah. Let's see, Hi Anon, right?
No, Hey.
Oh, my bad. Yeah,
Hey
we did this
Anon.
last time. My bad. Hey
Yeah.
Anon. Okay, there we go. So yeah, down. Okay, down like 50%, like everything else.
Yeah.
Um, Interesting. Yeah, no, definitely we should take we should definitely keep an eye on for some agents that are coming out of that virtual side of, or the Solana side of virtuals. But yeah, virtual itself, I think same kind of thing. I think key piece of infrastructure and AI. If the whole AI sector doesn't top out here or completely go to zero from here, I would expect virtuals to make its way back to all time highs. So 60%, but nothing really out of the ordinary for the whole rest of the market, right? So that's what I'd be looking at for virtual. Rotes, are you
You
still with
guys
us, Rote?
got any airdrops for the VVV project? The
Yes, I
Venice?
did.
Oh,
I
you
know
did? Nice.
Tony did too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a from AXBT and Bader. It wasn't
Nice.
significant because I had held it kind of like at the end of December, and the snapshot was taken at the end of December, but I
Mm,
still got some initial some instant supply airdrop, which is not bad. Um,
hold on. That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I got a bit too, just from AI16Z. I'm
And
sorry.
you guys tried it,
AI.
the actual agent? It's pretty cool. It's
No.
uncensored too.
Oh yeah, didn't something happen with the
You can
uh
actually ask him how to create a bomb or launch
oh no.
fireworks or whatever, whereas the other ones are censored for, whether it's like, you know, violence or
Yeah.
dangerous artifacts or whatever. So,
Interesting. Grok's
yeah,
that way? It doesn't let you do that? Like the
I believe so. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. VVV. Yeah, I mean, I think massive correction due to the fact overall market is not doing well as whenever people get free money dropped on their head and then it gets listed on Coinbase, usually it gets sold off. I was surprised. You see it saw that big sell off here. Obviously, the Coinbase listing gave it another shot, but a lot of times after airdrops, people get dropped hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on their head. A lot of times, you'll eventually see sell pressure take over, right? So.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe this thing becomes a big piece of infrastructure. Coinbase, I'm sure it didn't list it for no reason, right? I'm sure there's some kind of resources and operators behind this, but maybe we should keep an eye on it.
Yeah. I'm expecting a bounce here in 1 or 2 days.
Yeah,
Because you know things can go down like 60 to 70% in a few days unless it's the end of the bull market. We
yeah,
should definitely have a relief bounce here.
yeah. No, I think so too. I want to hear from our boy Rotes. I know he does a lot of NFT stuff, but like as far as the crypto side, first of all, you still with us, brother?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Have you been buying anything, or kind of just been sitting on your hands as far as the crypto side goes?
You know me, I'm over here tooting all day.
Hardcore, baby.
Unicorn got me a bit, but for the most part, I mean, it's an in and out market here over the last little bit,
Yeah,
given the amount of chop, and so I've always stuck a bit more conservative and on the higher kind of term value tokens. So, with that all kind of said, there's not a lot for me going on.
yeah.
Watching to see how things play out. If there's anything that kind of drives up, then I'll be sure to jump on it. But no, I've held in fart. That's kind of my biggest conviction, and that's mostly it. And I think I just really want to see how things kind of settle in here over this next little bit for the volatility that's going on across the meme space.
I like it.
I don't know if we figured out exactly what direction we want to go in, right? And we're kind
Yeah,
of rotating here, there, everywhere else, and it's tough.
yeah, for sure, man. Got it. I think we can all agree on is taking profits on the way up is really key, obviously, after seeing these corrections. Um, but interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I think a lot of these, there's some obvious ones that look pretty crazy right now, but will end up recovering. Does that mean everything recovers? No. But if we look at it, these past corrected periods, a lot of the good stuff does recover. I really like GOAT due to the chart, as well as I think it just has that obvious narrative long term. Obviously, this one's down almost 90% now, which is gnarly, especially since this is the one that started it all, right? But with that being said,
I mean, it's fucking brutal to be a new investor. Like, it's so hard to have faith in these things if you don't have context. I mean, you gotta
Yeah,
honest.
I mean, I think the only constant in this shit is that these things are going to correct 80, 90%. Like memes, AI. Like I was saying this a few months ago, it's inevitable. These same AI coins that people were hyping up 2 months ago, I said that like they're going to eventually 80, 90% correct. People are going to call for the end of them just like they were calling for the end of the Giga and SPX or whatever a few months ago. But it's just a cycle, right? The good stuff, everything corrects 80, 90%. The good stuff recovers. And
Yeah. Hey,
If
I
everything
know
is
Trump posted crypto has a lot of winning to do.
yeah,
So
right.
I saw that today
I'm
too. What were we going to say, Yoni?
Wait, he said
placing my
that?
bets.
He
I'm
did on
placing all
True
my bets in
Social.
the.
True
Uh,
Social, he said, crypto has a lot of winning to do, DJT.
What the
and I mean, we
fuck?
just had some of the most bullish,
How?
executive orders
I
on
know that things
crypto.
have to correct,
So
but how are we not
Bro,
booming? This is the most
price
bullish.
narrative follows price. A lot of times, again, just price needs to bottom out, and then all these positive catalysts, like it just becomes whatever. It just doesn't match up with rhyme or reason. Sometimes it's just
Yeah, it's such a weird feeling. It's like you know that everything is bullish, but you can't be
yeah,
bullish. But it's so weird. It's like that's when I guess you know that something is coming or to
that's
take
where it
a
yeah,
just comes down to. Your bullishness can't be relying on current price. It's just like, or else you're gonna can always be. And I'm speaking to everybody, right? Like it's
yeah,
like you got to form a thesis on these things other than current price going down and that up or down, right?
yeah.
And
It's
then
a
real quickly
max
to finish it off,
disparity of
just like
disparity when actually people kind of like throw in the towel and then things bump.
yep, that's the
Yeah,
way it is
and
every
then
time. It's a secular. People don't take profits on the way up, and then at the very bottom they throw in the towel, and then it goes up. That's just like you just
yeah,
said. That was great. I will say to Yoni, like, or anyone who's feeling like that, like, oh, I should be so bullish that it's not. You can rest it. You can feel good that in history, times like this have happened. Like I said in the ETF, countless other times where yeah, it seems super bullish, but it takes a few weeks for price to catch up. But it always almost does, right? It's gonna happen unless some black swan comes out of nowhere and wrecks the entire economy and everything, which is unlikely. Eventually, the price will catch up to the positive catalyst, and I think pretty quickly here. So
I
So
want
you
to hear if
still
Danks is still holding Dogecoin because
you still
Bitwise
yeah.
just filed for an ETF.
I'm holding. I haven't traded anything since December.
super obvious corrective channel on a Doge. What were we gonna say, Yoni? Though.
I forgot.
Oh, no worries. Um, yeah. So you said you're still holding, Rhodes? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even with all the Elon stuff and the Doge thing, it hasn't really moved. So I don't know. I'm still a believer. I still think there's still more to run. It's just taking a while, you know.
yeah, yeah. After this big run, yeah, I was not surprised it corrected. But yeah, this looks great chart wise. And I think eventually, Elon will, I think, directly talk about Doge more, especially after he saw Trump make his own coin. I don't think he'll have any worries of going back to his shit. Just the Doge agency alone just puts a lot of mind share on Doge. So
Apparently, Elon and Trump aren't boys anymore. Aren't like
according to who?
I don't know Twitter.
Let's see. Yeah, that's funny. That would have been a quick.
1 week later.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's quick. Do you know about? I'm looking at the chat right now. Do you know about Fart Boy? No, I don't. When you run an Alpha B show, I'll look at Alpha. B, take a look at Trim. I think it goes much higher. We can do that. So I'll look at Alpha and Trim. But why doesn't price reflect my bullishness? Because again, price narrative follows price most of the time. Meaning, a lot of times price will bottom out, and then positive catalysts or narratives will come out, and then oftentimes positive catalysts will come out, and it takes a little bit for price to come. So yeah, I would say I think it's gonna bottom out pretty soon on the majors. So what was that one? Trim.
Oh, something you guys want to predict what's going to happen tomorrow with the FOMC meeting?
What are the expectations?
I don't know. Is it going to go up or down? That's the real.
Well,
That's
no,
the
that's why it
real.
matters. Is like if it comes out like under whatever like FOMC interest rates, right? So yeah, if it comes out, I think
He's going hawkish. That's my
so
gut.
But will
expectations.
we see a massive green candle or a massive red candle?
So is the expectations that it's going to they're gonna keep it where they're at?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. They're not reducing rates.
Yeah. So I mean,
Or,
if
well,
that
97%. They're not reducing rates is where it
yeah.
stands right now.
So then if that result comes out, we're either nothing big will happen or a whipsaw more than likely. Um, but with any of these news events, I feel like it's just it could go either way. It's just you should expect volatility. That's kind of the way I'd play it. But yeah, just looking at the charts, I think whatever does happen, very unlikely to create a major reversal. If anything, it could add as rocket fuel to push everything up. But let me look at a few. Let me do trim. Trim's pumping. Hawk. With anything like this, I don't know anything about it other than the chart. It does look like it's coming up. It could keep going up, but just take profits on the way up, man. That's all I could say. No signs of it really stopping yet, but just like you saw here, here, it can come down out of nowhere and go down 60%. So the people that took profits on the way up here, these people are doing well. So that's what I would advise you to do here. Could be starting another correction. Either way, take some profits if you're up. Even in just AI, it feels like there's too many good projects to have a large position in. Yeah, that's why I'm big on concentrated bets. I think for Loco and others are as well. You don't have to be in like 100 things. DeepSeek, you heard about Cloudy. Have you looked into Cloudy too much, Yoni?
Not a bunch, but I saw that like it was talking in the chat. It's not out yet, right? And their Twitter got it's like frozen or something, and it still was doing numbers. It's showing strength for sure.
Yeah. Did you see him talking to the?
I didn't listen and know, but I heard people talking about it.
Yeah, I saw the one little clip where Thread guy was like, "Hey, would you come on my stream?" And then like not even with any like lag or anything, it was like no. But like it's just crazy how like it's like I don't know. It's just crazy how it responds so quickly. People are like speculating if it's like a real person, but it sounds pretty AI to me still. Did you see that for Loco or anybody else? Is Furloco still with us? No, he's gone. Yeah, no, it looks pretty crazy. They even have like if you go on the Twitter, I'll look at it real quick. They have like the AI images. Like look at this video. Isn't that crazy?
What is this?
Whoa! And she's talking.
No, that's
What
just
is this?
but they have her in this space.
Is that
Like,
real
yeah,
person or not?
now it's AI, allegedly. It's you can tell of it's AI. Like, look at this shit. Like, this bong's definitely like AI.
That's the most AI bong I've ever seen, bro.
Yeah.
You can't even smoke out of that.
But yeah, this is pretty crazy. I think that's kind of where this stuff's heading. Is I think that might be the next catalyst for these AI agents. Is more of like a video or like a audio presence, right? Makes sense. Like, I think that. I'm starting. Yeah, pretty crazy shit. You heard about Cloudy, and also can you give the TA? Yeah, look at Cloudy. This one's it's interesting. It's been like a big, crazy, like choppy consolidation type thing. So I mean, if it breaks below here, probably not great. But what your hope is here that it's just forming this nice base, like corrective consolidation, and it just skyrockets from here, which is possible, right? So if the whole AI market bottoms out here, you could probably expect something like Cloudy might do something like that. That's your best bet. DeepSeek integrated coins. Do you think it's a gimmick or does this actually have potential? What is a DeepSeek integrated coin though? Just that has like a DeepSeek theme to it. I don't know. Oh, you're saying the ones that are built on DeepSeek. Okay. I don't know. I don't really have any strong opinion on that. Oh yeah, I'll look at Alpha, and then we want to go into NFTs for a bit. So yeah, Alpha looks like it's been beginning a pretty choppy correction, but it looks like it could come down a little bit more. But it does look good. I'd expect it to come down one more time and then probably move higher. Could form something like this here, like a 50% correction. It's already kind of down about 30. So if it came down another, 20, 30%, that would make sense. And with that being said, what happened to Apple? I think Apple came down pretty rough too, right? So yeah, I think just to kind of conclude what we've been talking about here, I think we can all agree. I think don't overcomplicate things. The stuff that's really been strong: AI 16Z, Zero Bro, Pippin, Schizo, I'm just spitballing a bunch like Buzz, all these ones we've talked about here. If they have shown mind share and all that stuff, I think those are the best ones to really to focus on. The ones that are, you're not too deep into the weeds. Those have the best shot at recovering. And if they do, you're looking at 5, 6, 7Xs. So yeah. With that being said, I think we want to go into. Do you have any closing thoughts, Yoni, Rhodes, Danksy, on the AI stuff?
No, I think at least I'm just eager to see what happens, right? Like I know what's gonna bounce. I know that there's gonna be a bounce. Just eager to see a bounce sooner rather than later, and see what bounces and kind of like where the market is. I guess like this time next month, because Q1 is, from what a lot of people's understanding, I think was supposed to be a lot of traffic. Now that's coming closer to February and March. Now we're about to be in February, so hopefully sooner rather than later we start to see some action and start to see some of these things move up.
Right on. Yeah, and I do think
Uh,
just kind of like we were talking about the memes real quick, and I want to hear what you have to say, Danksy. But I think a lot of it is that Trump kind of open up the bog, like the point of no return, where a lot of people came in because of that. But people don't, normies and stuff don't get hyped. Most of them when prices are going down. It's going to take one more pump in the majors and all that to really get that huge inflow of normies and stuff coming in that are going to push a lot of these coins to crazy valuations. But before we move on to NFTs, Danksy, any final thoughts?
no, I completely agree with you on the like. You need to see like a headlines like 120, 150K Bitcoin
Yeah.
for the normies to start like rushing in.
Yeah.
And I just got banned from TikTok Live for like 10 minutes for saying bong on stream.
Damn, that algo is crazy.
L, literal L. But
Damn.
it's fun. 10 minutes.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, I gotta censor yourself when you're on TikTok. Damn, that's crazy that it caught that. That's like 100% AI. That shit that caught that too.
They're just like bong. No way. Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
No, that's a great point.
We go NFTs. When are
Yeah, no,
NFTs gonna be fun again? Remember when NFTs were fun, Brent?
yeah, yeah. I mean, damn. I
For
think
like a good weekend, it was fun.
Yeah, I know. Just to conclude right there too, I think that's a great point. I do think we kind of saw a taste of it in November, where a lot of these normies came in, right? I think we're gonna get more of that on this next run. But yeah, let's go ahead and hit NFTs. Rotes, do you have any final thoughts on the AI or any fungible stuff?
No.
No, bet. Let's go ahead and move on to NFTs then.
Yeah, and if NFTs look like a guy that's been through 8 rounds and took a draw when they should have won. But uh, this is what you get in NFTs, right? You get these long periods of retractions, then you get a really quick rally up. Makes it harder to catch some of these rallies when that goes. Looking at it yesterday, I kind of likened it to catching a bit of a falling knife with the way the market's moving at the moment. But we didn't cover this at the top of the show. This is more so breaking news. I mean, it's 4 hours old at this point, so it's no longer breaking news. But apparently, we have changes going on in the Doodles world that Burnt Toast is now taking over as CEO, and Julian is out, which is wild. Doodles, what they were building in the back end, and the connections they're making, the relationships that Julian was able to establish in the music industry, etc., and everything that they had going on in regards to McDonald's and all these partnerships, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that happens. I mean, a strict play on IP, if that's where Burnt Toast wants to take it. I mean, he is the artist, so if it's a growth and expansion of the art, then sure, they can still do well. But it definitely changes things. And where you start to see it is in kind of in the quote there, where like he's this corpo extractive narrative, and Burnt Toast is the one that was kind of hinting at this token stuff. I have been saying for a while that I don't think a token happens with Doodles. I don't think it makes sense. I think that all changes with this, and that it probably does happen. I don't know if it goes well. This is a major change, and one that I'm not particularly optimistic about, given the background of Julian. Now, of course, we've seen something similar with with apes, right, and the Yuga ecosystem, and them rotating CEOs back out and going back to Garga. I think that's a little bit different in respect because they were kind of lost throughout the whole process and didn't necessarily have the vision. And what made punks, or not punks, but apes good in the first place was their roots. But I think Doodles were really onto some really promising things, and to make this change now feels rough. So we'll be really watching that.
I think it's really interesting how they worded it too. It's like, I don't know. Like at the end, it's like, oh, this guy's great, but it's time. Like, I don't know.
It feels like they had a disagreement
Yeah.
on direction, and because Burnt Toast is the artist, you can't function without him.
Yeah.
Right. So he said, either I'm out or you're out. And
not to like flood the bags, but like you don't make a change like this if everything's going well, right? So obviously they're trying to spin it the best, but changes need to be made, and they thought this was the best way moving forward.
Yeah, great point. And what I think this all points to, guys, is that the whole NFT industry is wide open. We're seeing Azuki all the way down to 3 ETH again. Obviously, I think we just need that one catalyst to kick everything off. But I think any of these projects in the top 10, and that's why I have so much of my money into VeeFriends, is because any of the operators that like execute well here can take over not only like the top 3, like the top spot. Like, that's why, a lot of these projects, whether you think it's going to be Doodles, whatever, a lot of these ones that are under 5 ETH right now, any of these ones could take the top spot.
And Gary is an operator who has, operated, whereas a lot of these NFT founders aren't necessarily to that same degree with it. So, and Danksy, I'll say that your point is super valid and really worth noting. And surprising at the same point, right? It's surprising that things weren't going well for Doodles.
That's kind of the best scenario where you make a change like this and not just keep on going the route that doesn't work, right? So I'm bullish on the project now that they've kind of solidified and rebrand and try to correct the ship.
Yeah,
I mean, if there's one argument, I was always confused by the whole music play for them. I thought they executed it well, the videos and the songs and everything that they were doing. But like the having Golden Wolf and having the animation studio, to me, that's what makes the most sense. And just
I think all the content with Pharrell,
IP,
all the content with Pharrell and stuff will be really sick. But you're right; it's probably not what's going to drive the floor price up and the future of the IP.
Mm-hmm. You bring in Pharrell when you're doing a movie, and you want to have music in the movie and have some of these characters going. You don't bring in Pharrell when you're trying to come up with a record for really what is IP. So yeah, it's wild. It's interesting. Azuki,
how did the price do for Doodles? What's the price looking like right now?
I don't think it's really good, right?
They're pretty flat. I think, like I said, I think this gives a bit more optimism towards token, right? I think a token is more likely. There's a bit of reaction to it, but I think token side of things is interesting here.
Yeah, I think if anything, it's bullish for the long term of these coins that they're launching like into these lower valuations or maybe not as hype. It can allow the distribution to get better like pretty quickly. It's not great for people who are holding it from the beginning, but if the coins are going to do well long term, you want to see them have good distribution, which can only come through crashes. So, Doodles, yeah, I mean, just chart wise, just looking at that, looks pretty corrective. I would imagine, all of NFTs are just kind of waiting on some kind of singular moment. I don't know what that'll be, but we've seen from crypto and stuff. I think eventually. So it could come from the gaming side, maybe fucking some kind of crazy game out of nowhere, drop some kind of NFT integration. Could be a number of things. But I think it's going to come. I think all the money is going to eventually, I do think we're entering a digital asset super cycle where NFTs will eventually have that second bull. Will that be in the next few weeks or maybe towards the second half of the year? I think it's inevitable. So are very likely to
Yep.
happen.
I do agree in that respect, and I think right now is a good time to sideline watch prices,
Yeah,
and if at most place bids, but look for discounts, look for a correction before you
yeah.
jump back in.
Quite a correction on this one, huh? Azuki?
It's
Wow.
wild.
12-3.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good
Nasty.
time to buy some. I didn't buy any yet. I kind of have to figure
That
out
doesn't
another.
look like that doesn't look like a correction though, right?
I mean, anything off of it just looks nasty because like they only have the chart from October, so it looks like it's just like completely rugged. Um,
Right.
you're right, Yoni.
Uh,
It's not corrective in nature at all on the chart.
this would be the third or fourth time that Azuki has rugged, and Azuki has stayed, and they have driven floor price back up. It's a strong community, and so there is some strong resiliency here,
Yeah,
and there's still a path for Azuki. Now a path that I think exceeds Doodles in that respect.
absolutely.
In the respect that the IP and that the path to success for Azuki, I think, is a little bit more clear if they just continue along that. One thing that I caution with Azuki is that they really move slow in the terms of what our expectations are for Web3 and our patience for Web3 is.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think if you agree with the thesis that we're saying that we do eventually get an NFT bull, Azuki, obviously an obvious one. A lot of these stuff still super cheap overall versus 2021, 22 prices. But yeah, meme coin NFT stuff, everything kind of got wrecked. I mean, my buddy, a couple people got hacked with the what's it called? The Sproto floor got destroyed. For me, I think the NFT meme thesis, I think is going to absolutely explode. But just very conservatively, I think those are great buys right now. If you can afford a Sproto Gremlin or an Aeon, things do seem bleak right now on memes. But I'm telling you, very very good chance that these strong memes have another run after like these 70% corrections. And with that, I do think the meme NFTs will go up with them. So yeah, I think Sprotos. If you're looking for NFTs, definitely take a look on that. The Aeons, any of these projects that you think are going to recover the coins themselves, very likely the NFT should follow to the upside, and you might be able to get some, you know, pretty cheap ones right now. But I think most of these projects haven't even dropped an NFT yet, and a lot of the most exciting stuff is yet to be dropped. So interesting. We definitely want to keep an eye on. It's kind of more of a quiet period for NFTs over the next few weeks, but I do expect at some point they will become explosive again.
Mm-hmm. We have some mint launches on Abstract. There's been a couple so far, both of them in pretty soft, sub 0.1 ETH. There's a couple projects that are anticipated over there, so we'll watch that. I mean, these alternate chains. I've said it in the past as well with things like Blur and Blast and Polygon and even Solana to a degree. These alternate chains haven't had the degree of success when it comes to NFTs, and so I'm still reside on the major three until proven otherwise. So as much as there's opportunity there, I'm not hunting that opportunity down, just given the fact that for the most part it's been very fleeting for any NFTs that have been off the major three. So kind of keep that in mind if you're considering Abstract, et cetera. If you do get a whitelist, the option to mint, typically if you're able to get in at mint, usually works out well. But other than that, I'd still be watching prices, watching them come down, watching for a rebound. If anything, putting in low bids on the NFT side of things, and just going through what your convictions are. We've shared a lot of our conviction and where we think strength is in the market, and NFTs will follow suit to what's going on. But at the moment, with weakness in meme coins, et cetera, like everyone's just super hesitant, and it shows.
Definitely. What are your take on have you looked into much about Barachain or any of these Monad NFTs that are
Same idea, right?
yeah.
Same idea to the way I look at Abstract, et cetera, is that I just don't trust these alternate chains. Is there opportunity there. Yeah, I think if you want to dig into a chain and really become an expert at it, because there's so few people there, there's going to be some opportunity. The way Bear Chain has been holding these like ridiculously high valuations for some of their NFTs over there, it to me shouts that it's I don't know. It seems a little funny business, right? So I just don't trust that aspect of it, and I still stay like if you're trying to change or chase new opportunities, you're better off to be chasing AI meme coins and running that route than to try and learn a new chain and get in on it and basically be the exit liquidity for people that were there early and building off of it. So until a chain really establishes, and it hasn't happened, that's the way I kind of reside with all of that. So it may be a wrongful fade, but that's kind of the way I look at the
Damn,
alternate chain.
spreaders got cheap. Bren, what was
Yeah,
our
dude.
entry?
Hmm.
We could have bought like 8 of them right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, the hack or whatever you see down here, like 20 of them went on sale at a time. You look at that? Are you looking at my screen? Sell, sell, sell,
Yeah.
sell, sell, sell,
Jeez,
sell.
I was wondering what the cause
What
was
was the hack?
there.
Who got hacked?
My buddy got hacked.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you can't click on these links, bro. No
The
link
thing
clicking.
is, like, I don't even want to go too much because it's personal information, but he, especially, I'll tell you after, but it's not a traditional thing. Yeah, he was in it. I won't be specific about who he was talking to, but he was talking in a. He said the only thing he exposed his key to, he was in a chat with a certain company's customer service thing, and he accidentally copied his key into like the chat box. For some reason, he's like new to NFTs, and he
Oh
thinks
no,
he thinks
that's
the
that's
customer service rep of that company, which again I won't say who it is, likely stole his thing, which is it's unfortunate all around.
that's that's yeah, because they track what you type in the box without you sending enter.
That's wild.
Yeah, so
If like this guy's in another country, India or something, like that amount of money is like life changing. So if I don't know.
dude, I mean any amount of money like that, like when it's like when you're just stealing it from someone is like it's obviously unethical, but still like people will just jump at it.
Yeah, it's sad, man. Very sad. Yeah, if you're listening out here still, secure your stuff. Get a ledger if you can afford it. And just anything crypto stuff you're doing on, don't download games or any of that shit on the same
If you own any crypto, if you own any NFTs, then you can afford a ledger, and you
Yeah,
need to be storing your um, any non short term holds need to be on a ledger, and you need to be running that in a situation where you're using multiple wallets to keep your ledger kind of air gap essentially.
for sure, man. Yeah, I've heard some pretty gnarly stories, man. So secure your shit. Let's see. 250. We'll probably get off here in a few minutes. But I think, the NFT market is kind of waiting for that catalyst. Zuki's back down.
You know, some kind of wild announcement from Yuga might be what saves us all. I think
Yeah.
that's something that could really help at this point. I think something that could be honestly needed at this point.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's just like you guys like, blah blah blah, this is going on, or this partnership happened, or whatever, and it just drives a bunch of NFT interest. But like, it's going to take an announcement from someone like them to push it. Otherwise, it's like, yeah,
Yeah. Got to be
it's
something like Yuga or just something completely from left field like GTA 6 doesn't come out until like next year, but like a game like that or something just like dropping some type of NFT integration just completely out of nowhere. Or Yuga or something. So I agree. Wow, this one's crazy.
that's a sweet one. I
That
like
one's
that.
awesome.
How much is that one?
1 point right now. I don't
It
know. It's
just
not
sold.
listed
It's
right
not
now.
listed.
I think my boy
That's
might have.
sick.
Is that my
So
boy's? No, that was somebody else. Um, yeah, that one's nice, huh?
yeah, that's PFP worthy. That's so good.
Yeah, that's why like it kind of reminds me of Solstice. This guy, he has a really nice one too. Like the ones that are really unique, like they're kind of like in these weird poses too, like this. I like these. Yeah,
That looks like um, Sonic.
Yeah, the ones that look a lot like Sonic are pretty coveted, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's look at the chat. I appreciate you, Crypto Comrade, for being on, Hawk, all the usuals. People that are new on here today, we appreciate you coming on. We will be back on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Definitely give everybody a follow in the panel, the Bossman Calls channel in my description. I'm sorry, in my bio, and then everything that these guys are doing with Bridge 3 Labs. And follow my boy Yoni as well. He's definitely some cool stuff coming from him this year.
I want to take one more moment to talk NFTs, and I think that's particular Sproto is a good example of that. Is that if you're already in a community, or if you really like a community, so for instance, say if you've always liked Azuki, this is a great time to look for bargains, to look for rare or super aesthetic NFTs that get near floor, to pick them up and to relist them higher and look for those flips. Like for instance, buying that Sproto at 1 ETH and then relisting that at like 1.5 ETH, that's a win, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even 2, right? That's like a very clean one. So there is opportunity in a rough market to do these flips and be successful with it. So certainly consider that. Make sure you're playing communities that you know and work on it. But that's absolutely something you could do on a regular basis and do these flips and be pretty productive at it, because there's mispriced item all the time in these collections, and you see it all the time where someone will pick it up and relist, put it higher. You just have to be aware that you could get stuck with one for a while as liquidity is a little bit tight across the market, but
Yeah.
certainly a lot of opportunity in that respect.
I like that. That's kind of like swing trading. That's awesome. I'm
It's a
actually
lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, right? When you can go in there and be like, "Oh, that one's really good. Let's pick it up," that kind of stuff. If you really understand the collection, that's how you can produce some really good W's.
hell yeah. I definitely want to do more of that as things heat up. Yeah. Danksy, anything else before we Danksy, Yoni, anything final thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, hopefully tomorrow is a good day. I think that we just bottom out right here, and then we're gonna rip higher for the next month or two. So I'm feeling good.
Hell yeah, bro. I agree. Yoni, anything?
Nope, I'm hoping for the same thing. Good stream, boys. I'm gonna see you guys on Friday.
Hell yeah. I appreciate everybody for being on. If you're still watching us this long, we appreciate you. And we'll see everybody on Tuesday. Love. Peace.
See you later.
But take care, guys.